So the Commanders are currently trying to push to go get a number two receiver to line up on the other side of Terry McLaurin, and they are also trying to kind of restructure the O line. Now let's just start with the O line. One of our bright spots, I think his name is Brandon Coleman and Sam Cosmi. They were two studs and they were going toe to toe with some of the best D linemen and some of the best rushers in the league. And they were keeping Jaden Daniels clean. Clean. Now, Andrew Wiley and all them other scrubs, they definitely need some work. And Washington is probably trying to add bigger bodies and some quicker O linemen to try to fight this Philly D line that they have down there. Because they're going to be there for a while. They are. With Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, they're going to be there for a while. Now, even if they don't keep all three here in the future, Nolan Smith or Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis and Nolan Smith or Nolan Smith, I mean, not Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, however they do it, if they keep two out of the three, we are screwed if we don't do something about our O-line ASAP. Especially with Terry McLaurin getting up there in age. I really want to see him in a bowl game, the Super Bowl, not just any bowl game, NFL here. And O-line is probably where it starts at. Because if you look at it, Philly's O-line 2 weeks in a row, well, D-line 2 weeks in a row was phenomenal. They were getting back there. They weren't giving anybody any form of time. And if you weren't getting that ball out super quick or running the ball to try to slow them down, you were screwed. Screwed from the get-go. And so that brings me to wide receiver. Now, Terry McLaurin, great receiver. He had a phenomenal season. He was I think he was top 5 in receiving, if I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to that. And Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin had the best touchdown to QB ratio. Well, wide receiver to QB ratio when Jaden Daniels threw to him. I honestly would like to see a number 2 receiver, and we keep Dyami Brown and Olamide Zaccheaus. Because Olamide Zaccheaus was a key part in some of Jaden Daniels', wins. If y'all go back to the Eagles game, Olamide Zaccheaus was the guy. If you look at us against the Bucks and the Lions in the playoffs, Dyami Brown was making some tough catches. Tough catches. And so those are two guys I feel like we should keep, as one of them being like the number 3 receiver. But number 2, there's been speculations that we have some interest in Deebo Samuel. How do I feel about that? If Deebo Samuels can come in and be utilized like he was with the 49ers and not will only line up outside the numbers or, in the slot, if he can come help us in like the run game sometimes, or we can line you up wherever, dude, you will be back to superstar level. But if you come in here saying, I just want to be a receiver, it's not going to work. That's not who you are. Now, T. Higgins. There's been speculations that if T. Higgins gets franchise tagged, we might trade for him. Or if he hits free agency, we might sign him. Who knows what Cincinnati's going to do. But it seems like we are pretty interested in some big names. I've seen Washington's name in Myles Garrett, T. Higgins, Deebo. It seems like whoever comes out for a trade, Washington wants their hand in the mix. And that's what I like to see, because that's what Philly did. Philly built their team mostly from the draft, but it came over time. Darius Slay, came from the Lions. Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, all drafted. Zach Bond was with the Saints. And look at what he's doing. I mean, A.J. Brown traded from the Titans for a bag of chips. They're doing it. And the Giants, I mean, I don't know what the Giants were thinking, because they didn't want to give Saquon the money. They gave it to Daniel Jones. And if you look at one of the videos from the Giants meeting about Saquon, they said, we don't want him to go to a divisional rival. And he went to the one place y'all didn't want him to go. So why didn't you just trade him before his contract was up? I would have traded him at the trade deadline and I would have tanked. But no, we're sitting here talking about we don't want him to go somewhere, and then he goes to said team. Now, thank God it wasn't the Cowboys, but it's equally as bad that he went to the Eagles. But the only two teams in the NFC East that look like they're ready to move like in the future and to be playoff contenders or Super Bowl contenders is the Eagles and the Commanders. And that's what I like. That's what I like. And I like that Washington is taking a page out of everybody's book, especially with Adam Peters, Josh Harris, and Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. They all want their hands on some of the top players in the league. And I'm sure that Adam Peters and Dan Quinn aren't going to miss in the draft like Ron Rivera did, because Jaden Daniels was proof that they know what they're doing. So we'll see what the Commanders do. I'll keep you guys updated on some trade rumors and things that I've heard. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I know I've been gone for the past like 2 days or like a day or so, but please stay with me.